Now I have to ask, are there any other fan animations I should review? I know there's a lot out there, but I just don't know where to begin. So help me out. If there are other RWBY Fanimations you want me to review, leave your suggestions in the comments. Well, I asked and you all answered. Well, I got several different RWBY fan-made animations suggested to me. The 30 Days Lee and Angel videos were hands down the most requested, so let's give them a look. The 30-day videos, Lee and Angel, are only 2 parts of what will presumably be a full 4-part trailer series for the team I'm not sure. Now, these videos were made, as you could have guessed by the names, within the span of 30 days as a sort of challenge. And for only having 30 days to make each trailer, I'm pretty impressed. The trailers are made by a user named TommyLau74. I'm gonna call them Tommy for short. These trailers caught the attention of the internet due to their much darker aesthetic and tone. The 30 Days trailers are to RWBY as Shadow the Hedgehog is to Sonic. Dark and edgy! It's also a lot of fun, as these are some of the few fan-made suggestions I got that actually use characters from the real show. RWBY appears in Lee, and Weiss is an angel. I'm guessing we would see Blake and Yang in the other 2 trailers when they finally come out as well. Now, I've heard the concept for the trailers is a team of assassins are sent off to try and stop, or even kill, our Team RWBY. Though I couldn't find a source for this little tidbit of information, so forgive me if I'm wrong. It's a cool concept, either way. Just like with the Silver trailers, the 30 Days videos are animated in Poser, just like RWBY's early days. And since they feature RWBY and Weiss, it'll be much easier for me to compare the animations used in the trailers versus what we see in the show. Well, let's not waste any more time and dive into the trailers for a deeper look. First, we have the 30 Days Lee trailer. It came out August 12th, 2016. For reference, the closest episode of the show to air during the time was the first episode of RWBY Volume 4, just before the show started using the Maya engine. The trailer starts with RWBY running through a bleak, foggy forest. Her running animations is pretty good, honestly. It's just the little things that would need touch-ups. Maybe some slack to her hands, and maybe give her a little breathing animation with her mouth. Suddenly, a hook on a chain launches out of the darkness as Red Like Roses Part 2 starts playing. Getting pulled through the trees, we see RWBY's assailant, and we get to see Lee in all his glory, and I won't lie, I'm not impressed. He looks a lot like a repurposed White Fang member, eerily similar to the bandana-wearing one from the Silver trailer. This quick shift into monochrome with only RWBY's pop of color as she flies away looks great. I wish the show played around with simplistic colors for better emphasis, as the only time we ever really get to see things like this was when Adam used his semblance. And that guy's dead, so we're not seeing him again anytime soon. The animation here is nice and quickly paced without becoming too fast. There's some sloppiness here and there, specifically when it comes to how RWBY's cape and hair are animated. They're flying around all kind of weirdly. I'm pretty sure this is a side effect of Poser, and I'm also sure if given more than just 30 days, Tommy would be able to make this look more normal. I wish the forest we're in wasn't so dark. RWBY's outfit already features a lot of black, and Lee's pants are the same. I'm losing our combatants in the darkness of the background. The cooler green of the forest, like in the beginning of the video, could have helped alleviate this problem. Though, I'm theorizing Tommy is using the darkness of the forest to hide animation errors, specifically having the characters look like they're standing on flat ground. It's clear to see, even back in RWBY's Volume 1, that it's difficult to make the characters look like they're actually walking on the ground and not just floating over it. This little wave RWBY does highlights how awkwardly modeled her hands are, but I don't care, because she's super cute and she would totally do something like this, and I love it. What is that walk? Wait, you nailed RWBY's run earlier. Why does he walk like this? Lee's little sword thing folds out into a much longer sword that's also a fishing rod? Well, dang, Clover, look out. Seems like someone beat you to the punch already. Lee's fishing hook makes Clover's lame-ass kingfisher look stupid. This actually does highlight how bland RWBY's weapons have gotten over the years. Most notably, how they seem to have lost that transformative element they used to have in the early days. Now, more often than not, their weapons can only be used in one specific way, which tends to lead to some lackluster fights. Tommy does a good job making this sequence feel like RWBY's really flying at Mach speeds. However, I do have to gripe about this almost slow-mo shot. It's awkward on the eyes whenever someone attempts to use slow motion without the use of high speed. Like that forced slow motion. Okay, this is me just doing slow motion via my editor with a normal frame rate, and here's what real slow motion looks like with a high-speed camera, courtesy of the slow-mo guys, of course. But the fact that RWBY's hair is moving at a different frame rate from the rest of her, it's really distracting and takes me out of the video. So Lee does this thing, but I'm not exactly sure what actually happened. Did RWBY die, or did she just run away? She comes back later, so I'm just like, not sure. Either way, it does look cool, again, using that simplified color palette to give the animation better emphasis. The lead video is a good little piece of animation. It's fast, but not too fast. There's some cool choreography, and while I may not be impressed with Lee's design, I am blown away by his weapon. Tommy uses Lee's fish hook and RWBY's scythe in interesting ways. A nice little example of what Tommy is capable of. Now let's get into the real meat of his animation skills. RWBY 30 Days Angel. Even if you haven't watched this video, I can almost guarantee you've seen it on the sidebar recommended to you. More than doubling the runtime of his Lee trailer, Tommy's Angel video is one of the most well-known fan animations for RWBY of all time, releasing less than a year later on August 3rd, 2017. The trailer starts with Weiss wandering in an awfully familiar-looking forest, only this time it's covered in snow. The text, "Forget-me-not, caged bird," is both eerie and beautiful and plays into the themes of this trailer. It quickly fades away just as Mirror Mirror starts to play. Weiss catches what looks like a feather or a petal. It's either red, covered in snow, or white, covered in blood. Both options are pretty foreboding, honestly. This shot also shows that Tommy has already improved his hand animations for this trailer tenfold. Not only that, but Weiss's face just looks great. It honestly looks like this could have been a shot from the show itself. Amazing. From the snowy forest, a blind woman approaches Weiss. Angel. First of all, I have to sing this trailer's praises for having much stronger theming between Weiss and Angel than what RWBY had with Lee. RWBY and Lee seem to be fighting just for no particular reason whatsoever. Weiss and Angel, however, have a ton of similarities in their designs. From the royal aesthetic, to their long white hair, to their use of glyphs for combat, it really makes it feel like the song Mirror Mirror, playing in the background, is more meant to be telling us Angel's story rather than Weiss's. So Angel activates her glyph, and I fucking love it. Glyphs are already one of my favorite things from the show, as I mentioned when I talked about the Viridian trailer, and I wish the show played around with them a lot more. But Angel's glyph is so specific, and the design is so unique and cool. On the pure white snow, it really pops really well, and gives the fight a haunting and dangerous vibe. And it makes Weiss's glyphs stand out even more on top of it. Angel's glyph can become a giant bird cage, trapping the girls inside for their fight. This shot looks great! Weiss's rapier doesn't light up like this ever since her white trailer, and this shot makes me wish it happened way more. The aggressive shading on Weiss does look kind of odd when we zip back over to Angel, who's still shaded normally, however. Yes! This is how I want to see Weiss use her summoning. Weiss could play around so much more with her summons, and this is a perfect example of utilizing this element of resemblance without having her just stand still and overly rely on it. It seems like Weiss isn't the only one with a multi-purpose glyph, as Angel's glyph seems to stick to Weiss and starts messing with her thoughts. It's a simple touch, but this black spiral on Weiss to represent Angel's glyph's side effect looks really cool. That's another thing I have wrong with the show now. Not just the lack of cool glyph-related semblances, but just the super boring style of all of them nowadays. Everyone's semblance looks the exact same way. A little shimmer effect that's the same color as their aura. Fucking yawn. Put a little style into their semblances. Stop doing this. It's boring and dumb. So it seems like this new effect on Weiss is basically like a puppeteering technique, and Weiss suddenly starts dancing against her will. My God, this trailer is just beautiful. There's a reason everyone watched this. The fight is good, and the character is neat, but it's just this gorgeous style that's in every single frame that really sticks with you. It's taken this ultra-simplified color palette and has used it to its advantage, giving the whole trailer an ethereal feel while also just being stunning to watch. Angel retracts her glyph and shows us that it has a third purpose as well, forming into a pair of angelic wings that she uses to better defend herself. What a clever use of a wing-styled semblance that's more than just flying. I also really like how her semblance can be used in multiple different ways. Weiss is the only character whose semblance can have multiple uses, in the show at least. Not only do I want to see semblances with way more visual style, but I want to see semblances that can be more creative with what they can do with it during combat. Weiss seems to have snapped and summoned a spookier than normal RWBY. While this part feels a bit like it's trying too hard to be dark and edgy, it does make me realize I wish Weiss's RWBY had more interesting animations, or was just at least a little more emotive. Weiss wakes up in the snowy field with a fair amount of her hair clipping into her face. No worry, hun, we all have our bad days. As she discovers RWBY lying next to her. RWBY opens her eyes just in time for Weiss to pounce on her, as it seems like she's still a little snapped from Angel's glyph. But before she can kill her friend, Lee's hook interrupts her and the trailer ends, teasing a possible confrontation between Weiss and Lee. So that's what we have so far for the 30 Days projects, and I gotta be honest, I love them. Angel specifically. Like, Lee's cool, like it's a nice design, but I love Angel. Tommy's done a great job taking the characters we know and utilizing their established skill sets in a unique and smart way. In some ways, better than how the show has handled our girls' abilities. And Tommy's also shown he's more than capable of designing interesting characters with incredibly well thought out abilities. Both Lee and Angel's fighting styles and choreography feel like professional quality. The only hang-up is some refining with the animations, but I'm sure if he had more than 30 days to work on the project, he could smooth out those animation blunders pretty easily. For being an animation showcase, Tom has shown he's got a glowing resume so far. While the darker tones for the trailers is a nice change of pace, it can feel a bit like he's trying too hard sometimes. The twisted smiles on Weiss specifically have this .exe feel to me, but other than that, I have nothing but praise for Tommy. As of this video's upload, he hasn't made anything new on his YouTube channel yet, and he hasn't had any updates on his Twitter since November of 2019. I'm hopeful he'll continue working on these trailers, or at the very least continue animating. With how good he is, it would be a crime for him not to. But if Angel really is the last we'll see of Tommy, then at least he'll be going out with a bang. I recommend checking out the trailers yourself and show Tommy some love, though based on those numbers, I'm willing to bet you already have. Either way, I'll have links to his trailers in the description, and just like last time, I want to hear your suggestions again. There's still a ton more RWBY fan projects out there, and I want to see them all. Leave your suggestions in the comments, and let's continue this fan-made journey through RWBY. Alrighty, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you had a lot of fun with it. I sure did. A quick shout out to my $10 patrons. You're all awesome. Cool Duck, Raymiel, Andrew, James Dodds, Chamomile, Valhalla Knight, Michael, Nako. Thank you all so much. You're all so awesome. So yeah, I would love to have your suggestions in the comments. I know there's a lot more RWBY stuff out there. I don't know which one to start with though. So I'd love to hear all your thoughts and opinions. And also just your thoughts and opinions on these trailers. Like, which one do you like better? I saw a lot of people in the comments telling me about Lisa's walking animation, so I know you all know about that. But yeah, what do you like about these characters Tommy's come up with? What do you want to see more from him? Any and all thoughts and opinions, I want to see them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.